study this profound subject of compassion. Yeah.
所以我们这个周末我们会参考这个很深奥的题目，就是慈悲。
And we'll look at many things, and particularly we'll look at this structure of how we would practice compassion from a Vajrayana point of view. And so this may be new to you, so you should ask questions because you may want to clarify some things. Yes? How do you feel about asking questions? Do you feel confident to ask me questions? You don't feel too shy? Promise? You can't lie to me, I'm a nun. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So that's good. So does everybody have the handouts from last night? Does anybody not have the handouts from last night? You don't have the handouts from last night? So I think we'll just... Do you think we should start then? Shall we start? Do you think we should start? Yeah, okay. All right, yes, so we'll make it start, and I think you all know from last night.
我们先开始了。
This is Ray.
我是 Ray 洪瑞，你们好。
Without Ray, we are lost. So, as I explained last night, I usually do my prayers in Tibetan with a bad accent, I have to say, yeah.
通常我们他会先以藏音来诵经。
But so now in my head I'm thinking Tibetan. Now with my mouth I have to speak English.
嘴呢又要说英语。
And then Ray has to help with the Chinese.
那我就尽量中文来翻译给大家。
So if you feel more confident in English, then it's here on the paper. If you feel more confident in Chinese, then we also have it on the paper. Oh, great. Can I have a look?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, a very cool thing has entered the room from Bhutan.
这个是我们很新鲜刚刚印好的这个不丹的成就法。
So we have this for you in Tibetan, English, and Chinese. Isn't that wonderful?
是有藏语、英语跟中文。
You need?
Oh, okay.
You can have this. Do we have enough? Do we have enough? Does anybody need one? So we need one here. Any more? You need one? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need a few more. Do you want to tell her we need a few more? We'll get you them. Don't worry, we're not starting immediately with this. I'm just happy that it exists in the world. Yeah, she's still printing. Okay, all right, good. So the one, so those of you that have got the Vajrayana Sadhana that we've just handed out, so this comes from a book in Bhutan that myself and one of my Lopen friends retranslated directly from Bhutan.
这是他跟一个Lopen 老师一起翻译的，从藏文翻译到英文。
And it is written by His Holiness the 17th J. Khenpo of Bhutan. who's
这是 J Campbell 不丹的 J Campbell 写的，
who's a completely enlightened master. So
一个成道的上师写的。
and one of the things I want to teach you today is just a clear structure of a Vajrayana sadhana. So don't worry about this text. I will be taking you through it. I want to teach you the structure of it. And also we will be practicing it. So by the end of the weekend, I hope that you will feel you have some idea of how to practice the Vajrayana sadhana of Chenrezig, of compassion. Yes?
所以这个周末要强调的、要教的就是金刚乘这修法的那个构造，所以不用担心，他会一步一步的教我们怎么学习跟修行这金刚乘的这个成就法。
And so you have it, but I will guide you. And so for now, you can put it down and.
目前可以先放下来，他会引导我们。
So just to begin today, I had the great fortune to go to Penang Island.
很幸运，我有机会到槟城的槟城岛。
And we saw the Guan Yin.
我们在那边看到观音像。
Yeah. And so I think you must be very familiar with this Guan Yin.
大家应该对跟观音很熟悉吧？对观音很熟悉吧？
So you know how she stands on the mountain.
所以你们知道她在山上怎么站，对吧？
And she looks down with compassion.
她以慈悲的眼光看往下看。
On all sentient beings.
看着一切众生，
Yeah.
有情众生。
She's remaining because she knows sentient beings are still in suffering.
她逗留在这世间，因为她知道还有很多众生受苦中。
Guan Yin herself is enlightened.
观音本身已经是觉悟的、成道的。
She has understood the nature of reality.
她也知道现实的本性。
She's not confused.
她不迷惑。
Her mind is stable.
她的心是稳定的、安稳的。
But she doesn't abandon us.
可是她不放弃我们。
Yeah. And so it says at the start of 37 practices of a Bodhisattva.
他们说37道菩萨道经里边
it describes
形容了
Guan Yin
观音
as it says although seeing that there is no coming or going.
So, no seeing.
No, although seeing.
虽然看着，可是从无处而来，无处而去。
Which means that
意思是
Chenrezig knows the nature of ultimate reality.
观音看透了现实的本性的本质。
It says, although seeing there is no coming or going, still Guan Yin Chenrezig remains single focused on helping sentient beings, even though they have that level of enlightenment.
虽然有那个程度的见解，他还逗留在这世间度众生。
So, if you have visited this Guan Yin yourself, I really encourage you to bring those feelings of how it is to be in that place, and bring that feeling to mind, as if calling her to come here now. Yeah, call her with your mind to come here now.
我建议你们如果去拜访这尊观音的时候，就 带出这种感觉，就是请观音来，请观音就是希望我们也到达观音的境界。
Because we don't want our own mind ever to be separated from the mind of compassion.
因为我们不要我们的心不要与慈悲分离，永远的连接在一起。
观音，观音，观音。
时时刻刻观世音。
Yeah. Okay. So in the presence of 观音。
在观音的观音的处境。
Yeah, okay. So we'll take our refuge and say our bodhicitta prayer that we looked at yesterday. And so it's on your handout here, yeah? Maybe today 3 times we'll just say it in English, yeah?
我们今天就先用英语说这个菩提发心愿文皈依发心愿文。
But really take this vow now in the presence of 观音。
Presence， 就当做观音的存在我们发这个愿。
Yeah. Okay. So I'll read it in English. We'll read it 3 times. Yeah. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the noble Sangha, until enlightenment is reached. Through the merit of my generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the noble Sangha until enlightenment is reached. Through the merit of my generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the noble Sangha until enlightenment is reached. Through the merit of my generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay. So, personally, it took me a long time to realize the importance of compassion.
个人来说，我需要了很多时间来发现慈悲的重要性。
I was probably raised in a culture where compassion wasn't highly valued.
我长大的处境呢，慈悲不被重视。
So I had to go on my own journey to realize for myself the importance of compassion.
我就经过自己的个人旅途，才发现慈悲的重要性。
And we'll learn today the mantra of compassion, Om Mani Padme Hum.
今天我们会学习慈悲的心咒 Om Mani Padme Hum。
And when I heard this mantra, these sounds, Om Mani Padme Hum.
我听到这声音 Om Mani Padme Hum 的时候，
For me, something came alive.
对我而言我内心有个东西崛起就是激活了。
And it's really been one of my main practices, and I think it always will be, this practice of compassion, probably because I need it.
从那一刻，他这个慈悲的修行变成他主要的修行，而应该是永远的修行，因为他需要的这个修行。
So let's look at this. We have different definitions of compassion. The first one is called genuine compassion.
慈悲有很多不同的定义。第一个定义是真正的、纯正的慈悲。
And this is for us as beings. We first need to cultivate what is called genuine compassion. So Guan Yin doesn't need to cultivate that.
对我们
Chenrezig doesn't need to cultivate that, but we need to cultivate that. Yeah.
对我们而言，我们得修养对真正的 真正的慈悲心。观音不需要修行，因为他已经到达那境界了。可是我们需要修行，修养。
So what is genuine compassion?
什么是真正的慈悲心呢？
And genuine compassion sounds quite easy.
听起来容易。
And we say it a lot
我们
as
经常
Buddhists.
挂在口边。
Genuine compassion is the wish that all beings become free from suffering.
真正的慈悲是那个愿望，一切众生、有情众生。
And it's a small phrase, you see. May all beings become free from suffering. May all beings become free from suffering. It's like 7 words. It's only 7
大概
words.
7个字，愿一切众生脱离苦难，简单几个字。
But such a huge statement, such a huge wish.
很伟大的一个愿望。
So as Buddhists, we cultivate this wish. We say this wish. It's called aspiration bodhicitta.
身为佛弟子，我们修养这个愿望，这个就叫菩提心，发愿菩提心。
But to have the mind of genuine compassion, that is going to require some training. Yeah, like the Buddha said.
要得到这个真正慈悲心的这心，需要很长的修行，如佛所说。
So why would it require training?
为什么需要修炼修行呢？
It's because our mind currently suffers from partiality, from bias.
因为我们心现在患于分辨心。
We have some idea of people that we like.
有些人我们喜欢，
People that we don't like.
有些人我们不喜欢，
People that we don't know or don't mean much to us.
有些人我们不认识，也对我们没有什么意义。
And we also have a strong sense of self, of I.
我们的自我自知很强。
So we have that landscape of yes, no, like, not, hate, love, yes, no, pull, push.
我们心有这个处境是不是很爱，要不要？这样
And on that rocky landscape,
在这个山区似的这个处境和心境，
and now we say, may all beings be free from suffering.
愿一切众生
Oh,
脱离苦难，有
how
点
is
不搭，
how is that going to work?
怎么可能实现呢？
So we have to both, with all our heart, make the wish that may all beings be free from suffering.
所以我们得彻底的从我们心底发愿，一切众生能脱离苦难。
But we also have to honestly recognize that it's not easy for us to really realize that wish yet, that we are training towards realizing genuine compassion.
那我们都要对自己老实，也就是自己也要现实的知道说这不简单，这 这道路走得不容易。
So, what are the methods that are used to help us calm down this rocky landscape?
有什么方法能让我们平息这个凹凸不平的这个心境？
Firstly, to see all sentient beings as having been your mother many times in the past.
首先，把一切众生视为自己的母亲。
And this is not seen as a metaphor. It's not seen as if they have been your mother. It's not spoken as if.
这个不是形式上，也不是意思上，也不是说有如是自己的母亲。
It's spoken as a fact.
这是确实的，就是
Yeah.
就是真实的，就说自己是自己的母亲。
So think of your mother.
所以想着你的母亲，
Think of your mother, and look at your neighbor.
看着你旁边的你的邻居，
Think of your mother, and look at another neighbor.
想着你母亲，望着你另外一个邻居。
Yeah. Think of your mother, look at another neighbor.
想着你母亲啊，看着另一个邻居。
And this is what it's saying. See all sentient beings as having been your mother.
一切众生曾经做过自己的母亲，
Do you understand?
明白吗？
I didn't lose you? No.
都明白啊。
Just think what a revolutionary idea that really is.
想这多么不可思议的一个思维。
When you think how revolutionary that is, you then may think, oh,
想到它那么不可思议的时候，你会
and you know in some dark place you treated somebody or some creature very badly.
知道在一些黑暗的地方，你自己心底里知道，你对过一些人或众生不好的对待过。
You lost the protection of the idea of genuine compassion. You lost it
你丢失了慈悲的保护性，
because you did not look at your neighbor in this way.
因为你没有看你的邻居为用这个眼光看着你的邻居，
You forgot.
你忘了
At that point, you forgot.
那一刻，你忘了。
So firstly, to help us, Buddhism says that all beings have been our mother many times in previous lives.
所以首先说作为佛教徒，一切众生为自己的母亲，来世今生都做过自己的母亲。
And therefore, all of these beings we encounter
所以我们遇到的一切众生
have shown us great kindness in the past.
都给过我们很大的母爱慈悲。
It may not be obvious to you now.
目前可能不明显，
When you encounter them now, it may not be obvious to you.
现在遇到他们可能不会明显，
But Buddhism works on the idea
但佛教操作于，
that when you encounter a being in this life,
当你今世遇到一个众生，
it is the opportunity to repay kindness for what they did for you previously.
是一个回报他们的善，为你做过的善事，回报的机会，
repay your kindness.
回报。
Let me repay your kindness.
所以我现在回报你们对过我的善。
Oh, what's that? Oh, nice. Oh, lovely. Okay, good. Yeah. So now I would like you to think of somebody in your life.
所以我现在要你们观想。
Oh, Chunrizik is here. That's very useful.
你认识的某一个人。
I'd like you to think of somebody in your life, just for a moment, who you have a little bit of a struggle with, not a big struggle, just very small, like a neighbor you fell out with, or
就是观想你跟某一个人有吵架过，不是很大的纠纷，就是小小的吵架或者不和的人，观想他们。
Yeah. Does everybody have somebody like that they can think of?
你们生命中有没有这样的人物啊？
Just somebody you've had a little. For some reason, it's not.
小小的纠纷有点不爽，这样。
Yeah. Everybody have somebody like that.
都有这样的人物吧？
Is it coming from the speaker?
I think it's from downstairs.
Oh. It's just downstairs. It must be very loud, isn't it? Okay. All right. So. Maybe for better. Okay. So I hope you can concentrate. It's not disturbing you. No. Okay. All right. So, like we did last night, we just come to sitting quietly, yeah?
就像我们昨天做的，就是静坐。
And you can either have your hands like
你可以
this,
手放这个
or
手
you
印，
can have your hands like this, yeah? And again, you can have your eyes closed if it's best for you.
如果比较容易的话，可以闭着眼。
And gently be aware of your breathing below the belly button area. Just be aware of your breathing there. Take your mind there.
很温柔的关注你的气息，然后把注意力放在丹田部位。
And then gently bring to mind this person that you feel a little friction with.
然后很温柔的观想这个你不爽的这个人物。
And imagine now realizing that you wish to repay the kindness they've shown you previously.
然后想看你回报他们对前世对你的慈爱善。
And allow that feeling of wishing to repay their past kindness to really become very strong in you as you recall this person.
然后让这个要回报他们的愿望加强增强。
Okay, and then just note how you feel, what state of mind has come in you now.
然后注意你自己的心态是怎样，有什么感觉，什么感触。
Okay. All right. So you can open your eyes again.
所以你们可以开你们的眼睛，张开你们的眼睛。
So these simple reflections, they show you that your mind can change.
这很简单的反思能显示给你说，你的思想、你的心可以更改的。
That kindness can arise, compassion can arise, even in places you thought it could not.
善心可以浮现，就算是你觉得不可能浮现的地方，它可以出现。
And you can feel love and care and a genuine wish for somebody who has annoyed you.
你可以有爱、关怀，对于那些你有摩擦过的或者是不合的人，都可能，都有这个可能性。
We just have to have the courage to train our mind away from its negative habits.
我们得有勇气的训练我们的心，远离这些不好的习性。
Because if we don't, it will be very hard to generate genuine compassion for all beings.
如果我们不这么做的话，那这很难就产生真正的为一切众生真正的慈悲心。
We will leave some beings behind.
我们会放弃一些在后边。
And if we leave some beings behind, then we haven't cultivated genuine compassion.
如果我们漏下一些人，那我们的慈悲不纯正。
But it takes great courage because some people really annoy us.
这需要很大的勇气，有些人真的是很怎么？
Or some people have really genuinely hurt us.
或者有些真的是伤害过我们的人。
But only these people, only realizing that you can't leave these people out. It's with these people that they will be the ones that help you realize genuine compassion. It's looking at that situation straight on.
就是我们要理解，就是这些人，这些我们想放弃的人，他们能够我们得关注我们，就是他能够让我们进步，让我们sorry.
It's just with those, like we have to have the courage to see that with those people it's difficult for us, that in the difficulty of those people, this is where the training is coming that the Buddha taught of. Yeah.
就是越困难越艰难，我们能够通过这些人面对这个，就能训练我们的慈悲心。
Realizing even they have been our mother countless times.
就是深深的了解他们很多事做过我们的母亲。
When really you want nothing to do with them.
现实上你是不想跟他们有任何瓜葛，可是
That's nothing to do with me.
不关我的事。
I don't agree with them. They're a bad person.
不同意
That's
他们
nothing to do with me.
不关我的事。
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so I just said choose somebody that you have a slight issue with, not somebody that you have a really big issue with. I said we start with somebody you have a very small issue with. Yeah. You just note the people that easily you love, so easily you care about. Yeah? But there's no room for growth there. Yeah? That bit's coming easily. Yeah. But if we're going to make a statement that compassion is the wish that all beings be free from suffering, then we have to address gently the places where we don't want, when it doesn't come naturally, it doesn't come easily to us, it doesn't come easily. We have to address those areas just slowly, slowly, slowly. Yeah.
所以简说就是说他发问说可能这一刻我不想那样的想，我做不到说观想到他们是我的母亲，觉得是不可能。那法师就说呢，我们从小问题开始，当然不是你的天敌对吧？你跟从小问题慢慢的修炼。可是如果你只对自己亲爱的人有慈悲心的话，那边没有空间给你发展，只能通过你真的有不合真的是觉得不可能就是原谅或者是不可能爱的那些人，那种情况才有很大的空间让你进步跟扩大你的心胸。
Okay. Yeah. So we deal with this to people we found a little bit difficult, really, at first. Yeah.
从小问题开始。
Where you feel there's a limit to your compassion right now.
如果你现在觉得你的慈悲心备受限制的话。
Then we can also remember the root of compassion.
我们可以观想慈悲的根。
What is the root that gives rise to compassion?
慈悲的根，什么让慈悲产生？它的根源是什么？
And the root which gives rise to compassion is love.
慈悲的根源是爱。
The way a mother loves their child.
就如一个母亲爱她的孩子。
So that's why in your four limitless contemplations that you have on your prayer sheet, yeah, you may well know this prayer, right?
所以在那个讲义上有这四无量心，大家应该熟悉吧？四无量心。
The order of these statements shows us that love has to be remembered, has to be there, and from love arises compassion. Yeah.
这句子的程序显现给我们看，爱得存在，从爱慈悲才能被产生。
Maybe I'll just explain that a little bit more. So, for example, say if your own mother now was really suffering,
比如说你自己的母亲现在在困境中，受苦中，
you would just automatically, through the love you have for your mother, wish to help, wish to free her from suffering, isn't it?
你很自然的想说要她脱难。
So then we know the root of the wish to help, the root of the compassion is the love that you have for that sentient being.
所以我们要关爱一切众生，那个的根源就是这个对母亲的爱。
So when you feel a limit of your compassion,
如果你觉得有限制的话
then generate love for that being first. Love, yeah, because if you can't generate compassion, then there's probably you have to come back to the root of generating love. Yeah, being like the mother.
觉得被限制的话，回到原根，就回到这个爱，发这个爱心。
So in this prayer, you see it says, "May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness."
所以在这四无量心第一句就是愿一切众生永居安乐，然后还有安乐的因。
So for us, this means we generate the mind of love for all beings.
就是说我们发这个对一切众生的爱心。
And then it says, "May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering."
然后说愿一切众生远离众苦，还有众苦因。
This means we generate the mind of compassion for all beings.
这代表说我们发慈悲心，为一切众生发慈悲心。
So first love for all beings.
首先爱，
Then we are able to develop compassion for all beings.
才能够对一切众生有慈悲心。
So these two sentences are very interlinked.
所以这两个
These
句
two
子是
wishes, very interlinked.
这两个愿望是联系的。
Just to complete the prayer here, then the third contemplation, may all beings never be separated from the perfect joy that is free from suffering.
愿诸众生永居无苦之乐。
This means we generate a mind which is always joyful.
所以我们发愿一颗心是永远一直都是喜悦的。
And it's always joyful because it's always joyful for any virtue or happiness that other beings are experiencing. It's not a competitive mind.
它不是一个争斗的一个心，因为我们一直喜悦，因为我们对一切众生的都随喜。
It's not a jealous mind.
不是嫉妒的心。
Yeah. It's this Buddha here.
就是这尊佛。
And then the fourth line, may all beings rest in the great equanimity, which is free from distinction, free from attachment, free from aversion.
第四段，愿诸众生远离贪嗔之心，住平等舍。
So this is for us to cultivate a mind, a pure mind of equanimity. Yeah, this is when the mountains have disappeared, isn't it? Equanimity.
这代表说我们培养一个平息的一个心态，就是平等的心态。
And it describes that mind as free. It's a free from. It's freed from the grip of attachment or aversion or distinction. So it is easy then to have all sentient beings there in the mind.
这心是脱离苦，脱离贪，脱离嗔，所以才能够很轻易的、很自然的为一切众生发慈悲心。
So this link between generating love based on seeing all beings as your mother, who you love, seeing like that allows the compassion to arise. If you're not able to recognize all beings as your mother and therefore feel love for them, quite difficult to generate compassion for all beings, I think. This is the logic way.
就是那个逻辑跟步骤，就是要首先把一切众生视为自己的母亲，才能够轻易的发慈悲心。如果做不到的话，是很困难的。
How does that sound? Does that make sense? Any questions there?
有没有问题？明白吗？有什么疑问？
Yeah, good.
Like, in all my memory that my mother, I never feel love from her. It's quite difficult for me, like, to imagine, like, I love my mother, even though, yes, I love her, but I never feel she always reject me. Yes, and she not allow me to give something to her. And I think for me, this is quite difficult, but I turn it to somebody like my teacher I met in Switzerland. Then I really, really respect him. Yeah, but I always turn it, you know, like when I do this, I always like, I cannot, I cannot use my mother as an example. I can't, because all the memory in me, I don't have love at all. I never feel it.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
so.
Okay, so sorry to hear that. Sounds a difficult situation, yeah. There's sometimes definitely the closest people to us karmically in this life can be very interesting and can teach us the most. Remember, learning is not easy. Yeah. But if, for example, even though we feel like this, and many people have complicated relations with their parents, actually, many people have complicated relations, yeah? But if we study what the Lam Rim Mahayana texts say, in terms of how to generate love for your mother, if we look at what the texts say, it's very much concentrated on the time when you were very, very small and vulnerable and unable to do anything for yourself. When we look at how to understand the love of a mother, yeah? So first of all, the first way to understand the love of the mother is that they have given you life. They have carried you physically with many pains and discomfort and heaviness and in the heat, and they have fed you whilst you're growing in them, and then they have physically brought you out of their own body into the world. Of course, you can't remember any of this, probably, but Gampopa, the great Tibetan master, he in his Jewel Ornament of Liberation, the one of his key texts, he said, the mother has loved you because they have carried you through much discomfort for their own body and given you life. And then he continues to talk about how when you could not feed yourself, when you could not clothe yourself, you could not wash yourself, you could not keep yourself safe from danger, you know, with stairs or cars or I don't know what, yeah, or knives. Every time the mother is there to ensure that you were able to grow and develop into an adult, yeah? And so if you read these words by Gampopa, you'll see that he really emphasizes this time when we were helpless, like a little baby chicken, very vulnerable to, like if the mother didn't feed us, how do we survive? You know, it's not possible, right? So you might, you know, you might find it helpful to look at those texts because he doesn't say that you know, it's how they treated us later at school, or if they expressed a love for us in a way that we wanted them to. He looks at this very specific time when we were very helpless and without the love that motivated them to get up in the night and feed us, or you know, keep us from harm, maybe put a plaster on when we cut ourselves or whatever. When we were helpless, we relied on the care of our mother. So he's really talking about this time. And if you have the opportunity to yourself be a parent or be a mother in this life, then you will have seen it from the other side. You know, you will have experienced having to get up in the middle of the night to feed a child when you're exhausted, or, you know, endlessly draw them back from falling downstairs. You will see how vulnerable and helpless they are without the mother, isn't it? Or the parent, yeah. So maybe it's worth having a look at those words by Gampopa. What do you think? No? Not no. Okay. That's his advice for us, but
For me, it's quite different. It's for me, like my mother is treat me as a sheep, you know, and she always reject me. She always reject me, like, yeah, for me that judge me all the time, and I'm the oldest one, but for me, it's quite difficult to use mother as the example.
Okay.
Yeah. I think because in Buddhist, it's all the times, you know, mother is the best, mothers is the best. But in my opinion, in my memory, that is no, not at all. Okay, but of course, I love my mother, and I do a lot of things to. No, I won't say that I forgive her, but I feel that this is must happen. Okay,
but you do. You said you love your mother, right? It's
yeah,
there,
yes, I
it's
know,
there.
I know.
Yeah.
I love her so much, but I cannot. I totally cannot lie together with her.
Yeah. So
but even though she already passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, she already passed away 2 years ago. Yeah, I think almost 2 years. No, 1 year plus. But that moment, I don't have a good relationship for her, and she reject me all the time. Even though, whatever I do, she just feel, no, cannot. I don't like it. I do a lot of things for myself to accept. Yeah, but this, I think for me, this is quite difficult, you know, when Buddhists always talk about mother. I'm sorry that I really cannot handle this.
No, it's fine. No, I understand. You know, I understand, and mostly, you know, if we have those harsh situations, then there's a high chance that, there's more of a chance that what is done to us, we will do to others, isn't it? So it takes a lot of training to take situations like that onto the path and transform them into something else, use the energy to something else, right? Because in the first place, when we feel hurt or feel rejected, we reject back or we hurt back. When somebody is angry to us, we're angry back. It's just like ping pong, isn't it? Like ping pong. Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, Buddha already said, there's a sutra that says, it is very difficult to repay your parents' kindness. That's number two. Number three is our cause and effect and affinity will come back as mother and child, husband and wife. So this time you are a daughter. If you do not conquer off whatever feelings you have in your mother, probably your mother will come back as your daughter in the next life. So we have to use compassion to solve all these feelings, emotional debts. And also, as a mother, what irritates me most, even though I love my son very much, I think I can ask other mothers here in the audience. Actually, we all love our children. It's only their habits that irritate us. just like grateful school, don't want to do homework, don't want to take their meal on time, go out without informing the parents what time they come back. That's causing a lot of worries as parents we feel. So actually it's our habits. All mothers learn our children.
So, yeah, thank you for sharing your situation. And I think we can think of our teacher, the Buddha. Think of his example. Aim for his example. Don't abandon him. Yeah.
Hello. My case also quite similar with her. Also have bad experience with my mother, difficulty with my mother, and abandonment with my mother, and obstacle from my mother's side. So how to kind and compassion to my mother? For example, like Buddha way, can Sifu share with us your ideas with example and with some briefing.
So, as I said, come back to, if you can, generating some feeling of love for your mother, even if it's just a wish that she is happy, a wish that she is happy, that she finds the causes of happiness. Because you know the causes of happiness are not treating somebody badly.
在这些这特殊的情况啊，那我们可以首先就是单单那个愿望说希望他快乐，对，就算对。
So if she has felt that somehow treating somebody badly is the cause of happiness, she's mistaken.
What?
Yeah, she's mistaken.
Okay. 如果他觉得是对人家不好是一个快乐的一个出发点，那就大错特错了。
So you wish her happiness and to find the true causes of happiness.
所以你希望他能够找到快乐，然后是真正的快乐，就是远离痛苦的快乐。
Yeah. When you love someone, you wish them to be happy, to know the causes of happiness, and if they are looking in the wrong places for happiness, then they won't find the cause of happiness. So you wish this for them out of your love for them as a human, as a sentient being, just as a sentient being.
当你爱一个人，你会希望他们快乐，然后有时候他们找快乐的地方是一个不良善的地方，所以你就更加应该以慈悲的心，就是希望愿望他们快乐。
And just stay with that wish. Just stay with that wish. Stay with that wish. Stay with that wish. Stay with that wish. Yeah. And then maybe you'll find some small changes can come, but mainly stay with that wish. Don't hold to antagonism. It will eat your heart. It will destroy you from the inside.
就是一直 持着那个愿望，就算是很小的话，就一直持着它，一直持续，不要最不要持着就是恨，因为这恨呢会从里边会把你毁掉，是从里面把你的心毁掉，所以。
How does that sound? Hard? You're doing, yeah, good. Yeah, but you're in charge of your mind, isn't it? You're in charge of your mind. She want to what? More resources. More, I don't understand, sorry. Oh, contribution. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So she's thinking, yeah, okay. Try to please her as you can, without overburdening yourself. But keep this clear heart around her, right? But this is why we always say as Buddhists, we have to inquire into what frees us from suffering, what causes happiness.
首先呢，就是我们负责我们的心是我们自己的责任，对方怎样是我们也有时候也管不了，所以是自己的心自己顾。然后身为佛弟子，我们一定要就是探讨什么是快乐的原本的根源，什么是脱离苦难的根源。
So learn from her example. Learn from her example.
是个学习的机会。
Does this cause happiness? Does it cause happiness in her? Does it cause happiness in you? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So this is your data to work with here. This is your data.
是一个学习的，可以这么说，是学习的榜样，是负面的榜样，所以是一个学习的机会。
Do you understand? Yeah. Is she still alive? Yeah. Someday she won't be alive. And you need to be able to know that you did your best. Yeah. Yeah. If it's hard for her to appreciate, then it's very hard for her to have the sympathetic joy, the third immeasurable, right? If it's hard for her to show love, it's hard for her to do the first one. If it's hard for her to show compassion, it's hard for her to do the second one. So then she may be in a situation where she's not got the true causes of happiness herself, isn't it? We have to be compassionate to that person who's misunderstood the nature of happiness. Very sad. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah, good. As I said last night, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. The Dharma path, we should not think that the Dharma path is easy somehow. It's going to bring up all of these questions for us so that we can find a way through them. That's the nature of Dharma. I feel like I'm missing out on some party that's happening. Some party people coming. Oh yes, I forgot. Yes.
所以大概的总结就是法的路径是很难的，如果容易的话，大家都做到了。然后
Did you finish? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Since childhood, I have a very complicated relationship with my parents. I think every day, almost like every day, we had quarrels with my parents and scold them. Until just lately, I found that I'm suffering for life, whether in relationship, in words or family. That's why. But now, actually, I already forgive my mother. I very love both us, very loving. I have suffered with my father. I think I don't know how to forgive him because always in my mind already treat him as like irresponsible father. So actually, a few times I try to talk to him nicely and try to want to forgive him, but end up I think it's not a genuine forgiveness.
Yeah. Okay.
So how can you cultivate that?
Yeah. Particularly when. Oh, did you want to translate the question?
叶简说，就是他发的问题是说，他对自己父亲很难原谅，做不到原谅这。
I understand that the love, because actually I already can forgive and really in love with my mother. But I'm not sure how I still can suffer the pain with my father and I still cannot.
Yeah, so in this case, it's a really good point. So in this case, you may need to really look at this fourth line of the Four Limitless Contemplations, right? Sometimes in samsara, we have experienced a lot of suffering. Yeah, especially for those we're karmically connected to, you know? And then we become Buddhist and we feel we must love everybody. And the texts tell us to love everybody, isn't it? But what I hear is, although it's inspiring to try to love everybody, maybe with your father first, just be very neutral. Just to take the heat out of it. It doesn't sound like you can transform it fully into compassion or acceptance. It will feel like a fight. So first, equanimity. Yeah, just neutral. Just clearing away, washing away. Not trying to be super compassionate, super forgiving. Just taking the heat out. He is a human with a body. His name is so-and-so. He's this age. This lifetime he's called my father. He struggles with anger or he gets in the grip of I don't know what, you know, yeah? And just like very neutral. Leave it like that, neutral, right? When the heat has come out of it, then you can begin maybe to cultivate more deliberately compassion and forgiveness. But first it sounds too hot in your mind. So first, equanimity. Equanimity. Yeah? How does that sound? Yeah, just take the heat out. Yeah, take the heat out. Yeah. Too much fire here. Heat needs to come out. Yeah, cool down. Cool down. This, here, you know, one human, he's called a postman. One human is called my father. One human is called Steve. One human is called Ray. Yeah, these, yeah, a different karmic connection, okay, but let's try and bring it down to more neutral. Yeah.
所以某些因缘比较好像好熱氣這樣啊，所以先用平等心讓它平息一些，冷靜一些。因為轉心不是一瞬，有時候不是一瞬間，是很艱難的，所以建議平等心洗掉那些障礙，慢慢來。有了平等心之後，那個火滅了，然後就可以繼續。
You know, otherwise, in some strange way, you're either clinging to anger, like, I'm really angry, I must really forgive. I'm really angry, I must really forgive.
有时候很奇怪，一手执着着恨，很
You
讨厌
go-
一手着又想说原谅，
Yeah.
恨原谅。
Yeah? Yeah, that makes sense. Practice this, the fourth line here. Yeah. The great equanimity. Yeah, all without this equanimity, the mind will not be stable. The mind will not be stable. It'll still be pulled by some past experience with your father, some story there, you won't free your mind. Remember, this equanimity is free from distinction, free from attachment, free from aversion. Right now, you are not free in this situation. Your mind is not free, is it? So come on.
所以没有平等心，心是不能安稳的，所以这是很关键的。因为没有这个平等心，就心脱离不了恨啊，或者是许许多多的苦因。而且就总结一下，我们到目前所讨论的，就各种不同的困难的情况，都是回到这四无量心。因为我们可以观想说，这些众生就是就算是我们的父母也好，就是我们有就是很困难的因缘，他们不能随喜，他们也不懂不能理解什么是真正的安乐。所以我们就是因为他们有这些困境，他们不能够安乐，所以不能够脱离他们的苦，所以我们得更加有慈悲心，回到这四无量心这样的修行。
But thank you for sharing these genuine experiences of 1, being a human being, 2, walking the path of drama, and how do they work together. So thank you for your honesty.
谢谢你们分享你们的故事，这也很好的显示说，做人难，行道也难。
The pain of samsara is that, we want to rely on what is unreliable.
轮回的痛苦就是一个关键，就是我们经常依靠让我们痛苦的东西。
We cannot take refuge in our parents.
我们不能皈依我们的父母。
Because they also are in samsara.
因为他们也在轮回中。
They're not a reliable refuge.
不可靠的皈依。
Yeah, we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the noble Sangha, the Bodhisattvas.
所以我们皈依于佛法僧、菩萨们。
All other forms of refuge are unreliable.
其他的皈依的形式或对象都是不可靠的。
We rely on the Buddha.
我们依靠佛。
Okay, we're going to stop in a minute for a little break. But I just finish by saying here, so normally from a Mahayana point of view or a Theravadan point of view,
就通常从北传或南传的角度来看
when you train in compassion, you're going to train using these groups of different people. People you like, people you don't like, people you're neutral to, and your sense of self, isn't it?
我们训练慈悲的时候，他们都会运用这些不同的组合，我们喜欢的人、不喜欢的人，或者觉得没有什么特别感觉的人。
And through that, you will gently develop towards genuine compassion. It will take a long time, probably.
我们就这样慢慢很温柔的，一点一点的扩大我们的慈悲，这可能会需要很多时间。
This is called a causal vehicle,
这就叫因果称，
practicing a causal vehicle.
一个一个靠因果的修法。
When we practice a Vajrayana way, we practice the results vehicle.
金刚称呢是结果，可以说是结果称，就是专注于结果。
So this is what we will begin after our short break. Does everybody have a copy of the sadhana?
我们休息之后会就参考这个结果称的这个修行，大家都有这份这都有吗？啊。
And so right now, your definition of yourself will be very ordinary.
目前你对自己的定义是很世俗、很普通的。
Understandably, based on your particular circumstances in this life, your particular experiences, jobs. Conditions, yeah.
有你的个人经验，你的事业或者什么。
So when you practice on the Dharma path in that way, you practice like that in your ordinary self, yeah.
那你修佛法的时候，你是用你很普通的自己来修行。
When we practice in the Vajrayana way, we practice as if we are none other than the mind of compassion.
金刚乘的方法呢，我们修行的时候是不是普通的自己了？是我们是明明确确是慈悲心。
And that's why it's a results vehicle practice.
所以为什么叫结果乘？
How does that sound for people?
听起来怎么样？
Sound okay? All right, okay. We find it very hard to let go of our ordinary self.
我们会觉得很难放弃我们平时的自己，普通的自己。
Of me and mine.
我和我的。
Root of suffering.
苦的根源。
So Vajrayana has this very interesting way of cutting through attachment to ordinary self.
所以金刚乘呢有一个很独特的、特别的，就是切断这个就这样的我执。
So I ask you to have the courage to stop clinging to all your ordinary stories about yourself, your ordinary self-clinging. Please try to relax that now, because for this practice we need to be able to think like that.
所以我请你们有勇气，就是放下这平时的自己，就是平时的执着，就放下平时的自我，再放轻松，鼓起勇气。
Okay. So we'll have a short break now. We dedicate the merit here of what we've done this morning and all we've shared.
我们回向我们休息之前，我们先做个回向，我们今早所学的和累积的功德。
And again, you'll see in the dedication prayer, we just use the general dedication prayer.
我们就用那个基本的这回向愿文。
Again, you'll see this phrase, this idea of dedicating for all sentient beings. It says, "May all beings."
所以我们得留意一下，它那边写的是一切众生，就是不漏掉任何人。
So please think of all beings, and if you are really struggling with anybody, bring them right in front of you here now. Sit them here now, Right?
Yes,
Do you want
yes.
to translate that?
Sorry, missed that. Sorry.
You're so sad.
被开除了，sorry。
Where did Ray go? He went on a holiday
I
just
went
for
to
a few
another
minutes.
dimension. Sorry.
So I was just saying that to ensure that you don't leave anyone out of your dedication, then in your mind, bring anyone that you feel you really struggle with. Now, in your mind, bring them here. Remember, Guan Yin is here also. And bring them here, sit them down here now. Yeah, sit them in front of you. Yeah, in your mind, yeah.
我们回向之前，观想着观音在，然后我们不和有困难的困难因缘的人也在此地，我们回向给他们。
And generate this feeling of please hear this now, please hear this prayer now.
请他们说聆听我们的愿，是我们许的愿。
Okay, so I'll say the prayer in English. Say it with all your heart. By this merit, may all beings obtain omniscience. May it defeat the enemy which is wrongdoing. May all beings be freed from the ocean of samsara with its stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Okay. All right, so I'm not very good with time. So it's 11 o'clock now. And so I encourage you just to have a little wander around, stretch your legs, in case your legs have feeling it at all. And we'll come back here around 11:15. And we'll do some more. And then in a while we'll have lunch. But the timetable is a little fluid because I'm partially Bhutanese, and Bhutanese have no sense of time, so we're going in that way.
今天的时间表比较松啊，所以因为它是部分不丹，所以所以大概11:15我们会再回来，现在休息一下，先伸筋放松一下。11:15 15 right?
Yeah, have 15 minutes. Go.
11:15
You can walk around the building if you like. You can do a core around
散
the
步一
building.
下。
Just fresh your mind. Fresh your mind. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. You must have done mega printing at short notice. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. No, everything is fine. I mean, we have a nice group of people and everything is fine. So this
I have a question. During the daily routines, as a normal human being, during the daily routines, sure we will get caught into a certain scenario that we get mad, we get annoyed, or we get busy. But how we can take the times like for us to really go into this one, go to the basic, or calm down ourselves. Because I understand sometimes during like how to say, we learn this, we learn that, all the things, but when it's really come to the scenario, how we can get back to ourselves.
Now for the pen. Yeah, I'll answer. Yeah. Okay.
What's the question again?
Hello. Okay. A few people missing, I think, is it? We've gradually gathered back, I think. People are taking to this Bhutanese time, Ray. They're really going for it. Thank you. I got taller on my break. I got taller. Thank you. Thank you. Steve, where is Steve? Steve has disappeared. Lawrence had a fantastic idea. If you feel shy to ask a question about anything, anything to do with Dharma, don't ask me about geography or something, then you can, of course, simply write it on a piece of paper and leave it on my table here. And you can leave it in Chinese or in English, because Ray will help to translate. And then I can just anonymously answer it. So you get some answer there. So if you feel shy to ask a question, why don't we do that system? Yeah?
所以 Steve 师兄有一个很好的点子，就是如果大家害羞问问题的发问的话，可以欢迎你们写在一张纸上，中文、英文都可以，然后什么问题都行，不过就是一般这就是关于佛法地理这些就比较难帮的所以欢迎发问啊。
So Ray wanted to clarify something about the dedication prayer. Yeah.
对，不好意思，还没被开除，也是刚才我愣住，是因为我发现这翻译的这个中文翻译呢，因为法师就强调说，一切的发愿都得强调说，基于众生，所以这翻译这些没有明确的说，开头没有明确的说，这个功德还有身边只是众生一起，所以我们做的每个功德跟愿望都是要观想说，我们是。回向给众生，这是很重要的一点。
Okay, Ray's confession. Okay, I had a couple of interesting questions over the break time. Obviously, as a monastic, I have the opportunity to really study the Dharma.
身为一个出家人，我有学习佛法的很好的机会。
Which is a complete joy, I can assure you.
是纯粹的愉快、愉悦。
And so I'm very comfortable with that. But not everybody can follow a monastic life or wishes to.
不是每个人能够跟着一个出家人的生活形式，或者想要跟这个出家人的生活形式。
And for lay people living a worldly existence, often they're not quite sure how to follow Dharma with a feeling of integrity.
身为居士，就是世俗间的人呢，我们有时候会觉得很难以道德修行正确的修行佛心。
And this can falsely give them a feeling of not doing enough or failing or something like worldly life, Dharma practice, worldly life, Dharma practice, yeah.
这是会给我们一个感觉是，我们做的不够，就是说又需要学法修法，又要工作，所以有时候会觉得自己做的不足。
And so maybe I'll say a few things on this in case it's helpful, yeah? So we have to be aware of our mind, yeah? We are aware of our mind. And we are gradually cleaning the obscurations to see our mind, yeah?
所以首先呢，我们要关注就是我们的心，然后逐渐的去掉那些障碍，去掉那些遮容的那些障碍。
And this can be summarized in the two accumulations, accumulating merit and accumulating wisdom.
这个可以总结于两种取集：一功德，二智慧。
So the Buddha said 3 simple things.
佛说了3样很简单的事：
refrain from causing harm,
不伤害，
do positive activity to relieve suffering,
做善业解脱苦难，
and train the mind.
修心。
Now, when we're in worldly life,
在世俗间，
the first 2 are really important to remember.
前2个很重要，要记得。
Because you will find mixing with other people and with money and with ambition and with emotions and marriages and
所以你会跟在平时生活上跟其他人接触钱，接触事业，还有婚姻
you will find many opportunities to cause harm.
很多机会做恶业，做伤害。
Don't you find that? You find that, right?
不觉得吗？
Yeah. And if you are walking a path of Dharma, if you cause harm, it will really feel unpleasant. Oh.
做佛弟子的时候，有时候如果做了这些伤害其他人的事，会觉得特别的不安。
So in daily life, try to become a little more clear. In this situation, I could cause harm, or I could not cause harm.
在日常生活中，要很清楚、很清晰的知道，说我这个行动会导致伤害，或者不导致伤害。
And so you practice not causing harm.
所以我们修行不伤害他人。或自己。
Then in another situation, you could do nothing or you could help.
在有些情况，你可以什么都不做，或者你可以帮人。
So then when you can, rather than doing nothing, you help, even a little bit.
如果
Yeah?
如果可以的话，就帮，就算是一点点都帮。
And then at the end of the day, you think, how did it go?
到最后你想，
Did I choose to not cause harm?
我选择了不伤害，不做伤害吗？
And did I do some positive activity?
我做了一些善业吗？
How did it go? How's it going? Yeah. And so keep remembering these 2 and look at the end of the day. How did it go? how did it go? And then obviously if you really feel you made a mistake, then you have to ask the forgiveness of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
如果所以仅出这2点，然后一天之后就想说，哎，我今天做的怎样？如果有做错的话就忏悔，然后就是请求原谅。
But like with any mind training, the third teaching of the Buddha, the mind training, we have to practice these habits. We have to train the mind to choose to not harm and to choose to do positive things. We just train again and again in this situation, in this situation, in this situation, in this situation.
所以第3个修行呢，就是说我们修我们的心，就会做清晰的做出选择，说 OK， 我不做恶业，我不伤害他人，所以是一种修炼，就是修炼自己的心。
And if you make a mistake, do not forsake yourself.
如果你做了一个错误，不要离弃自己，放弃自己。
Do not become your worst enemy at that point.
不要变成你自己最大的敌人，在那一刻。
Yeah? And in terms of a practice,
从修行的观点中看
in daily life, you may experience anger.
在日常生活中，你可能会感觉到恨，
You may experience anger coming to get you.
会生气，会抓住你，
I'm caught by anger. Anger has caught me.
被恨抓住了，
It may come.
会有这样的情况。
So as a Dharma practitioner, the question is how quickly can you return to neutral?
身为佛弟子，那个关键是我们怎么回归原本，就是平等心。
You may well still feel some anger or frustration.
你可能会生气，还是会觉得很
It may come, and then you can quickly drop. Don't feed the anger. Don't feed the anger. You may still get angry. The challenge. This is the challenge. The anger game show challenge.
不要强化这愤怒的火啊，就是放下，这是一个像一个游戏这样。
Yeah? You need to know, okay, sometimes I still get angry, but it takes me 5 seconds to come out of it and return.
就是挑战自己，有时候就想说，哎，有时候我生气了5秒，可是5秒之后我能够回归平等心。
Because these habits, we're very vulnerable to these
因为这些习
being
性
captured.
很容易被捕捉，被这些习性捕捉。
So if when you see me next, if you can say, Venerable, you know now it only takes me 5 seconds to come back from being angry. I've practiced this in this months of practicing that. Okay, remember quickly, out of it. Free myself from it, free myself from it, free myself from it, free myself from it. Yeah, if you can do this, it's good progress. Yeah.
如果下次你见到我，你跟我说，我只需要5秒就能够脱离我生气的心，回归平常心，那你就很好的进展。
Very helpful. The second question I had was about, again, it's very difficult, worldly life, Dharma life, worldly life. You have to be very brave to be a Dharma practitioner and in the world, I think.
这第二个问题是关于说就平常生活跟就是修行的生活，所以达到一个平衡是一个很复杂一个很难的问题。
So the yogic model for a human is this.
从瑜伽的观点，一个人的一个构造的观点是如此。
The human life has 3 stages.
人生有3段。
First stage, first 25 years, study
第一段前25年学习。
Second 25 years, you're a householder.
第二段25年你是居士。
You need to take care of yourself, your home, your food, your family. You have these worldly responsibilities.
照顾自己家宅你的亲人等等。
And then the last third of your life, you're a spiritual practitioner, you're a sannyasin, spiritual seeker. You're renouncing and you're really concentrating on spiritual practice.
第三段呢，就是最后一段是你专注于修行，就是修你的修法。
And you'll see this very clearly in Bhutan. All people, once their family is grown, they all just do mantra, dharma, go to teachings. You know, they follow that model. People who have families, etc.
在不丹，你很明显可以看到，那一当人成家之后呢，他们就时时刻刻的诵经念经咒，就是修行，专注于修行。
In terms of where you place your focus in your life as a worldly person, it's going to be more complicated. You've got many things pushing you, making money, looking after children, helping parents. You know, you'll have all these different things.
作为一个世俗间的人，你的专心放在哪是很难选。事业、父母或者是立家，这很难找到你的中心在哪里。
And the texts tell us that it's we want to have some degree of worldly happiness.
经文里面有说，我们会想要世俗上的一些欢乐。
But the greatest riches in the world is a mind of contentment.
世界上最宝贵、最大的欢乐就是一个知足的心。
So it's not wrong to wish to have a house or food or whatever. You know, it's not wrong to wish for these things at all.
所以想要一个家、一个事业等等都不是错的。
But if you don't have if you forget the idea of finding a mind of contentment with worldly things,
如果你忘记这个知足的心的话，
then very hard to experience worldly happiness. So
那也很难就是经历这世俗上的欢乐。
it's like a meal, you know. You have to have a nice meal, and then you know when you're full.
就好像一餐，你有一个很好的
You're satisfied.
一餐，你吃饱了，你满足了。
If you just treat life as if it's a meal you keep on eating, you just end up being sick.
如果你把生命当作是一个不停的一餐，那到最后你会觉得是会生病。
So when you have enough with these worldly things, then no, this is enough for me. Then you have more time and energy to spend on Dharma. So it's not renouncing everything, but it's not stuffing your face until you're sick. And it's a state of knowing contentment. Chosen contentment with worldly things, again, is like a freedom from the clutch of greed. Greed has got me. Now it's not anger, it's greed.
对，所以就像吃一餐，吃到饱了就知足，那就好。不需要暴饮暴食，也不需要放弃一切。然后知足呢，就是脱离贪。所以之前是被嗔恨做主，现在是被贪做主，所以这个知足能解脱这个贪的心。
So I hope that answered the questions that I had. If it didn't completely answer them, do ask me again or leave me a note, as I've said. Yeah? All right, okay. So first of all, just because I think the iconography is different,
因为这个观音的形象有点不一样。
we'll get our handout here.
在对讲义的最后一面。
So when we train in compassion, in my training, we use the word chenrezig for the mind of compassion. Is that right? What are you missing?
I don't have that. Wait.
Oh, you don't have this?
Hold on, I just have to.
Technical break.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, from, as I said, in my training, I know you have Guanyin. Yeah, Guanyin, but from a Himalayan point of view, and actually predating it into the Indian tradition of Avalokiteshvara, we have this representation of the mind of compassion, which is given a form. It's given an appearance.
所以从喜马拉雅传统的这慈悲心的一个形象的身形，他们给予了一个身形，就是这个样子的，
To help us,
来帮助我们，
to guide us and inspire us
引导我们，激发我
on
们，
the path.
行这道修行上。
Ultimately, because we have Buddha nature,
就因为我们有佛性，
we have the potential to awaken as a Buddha
我们有觉悟成佛的潜能，
with limitless compassion and wisdom.
无边的慈悲和智慧。
This is not something other than our own pure nature.
这个不是外面，不是之外的，这是我们自己的本性。
But at this point, it may feel like something outside you.
在此刻，这就会觉得是，这是我身外的一个形象，一个东西。
But it's none other than your true nature.
可是它的确是我们的真正的本性。
So you have the picture here of a four-armed Chenrezig, and you also have the picture on your handout of the four-armed Chenrezig here. And the four arms can represent different things, and the four arms are sometimes used to represent the four limitless contemplations that we looked at this morning.
这四臂观音呢，它的四臂有时候有不同的象征，有时候呢，它象征着这我们之前所参考的四无量心。
But most importantly, in this picture, you're going to see arising from the heart, the center of the mind of compassion, its nature arising as sound.
最关键的呢，我们从这个这图案上看到这词是
Its nature arising as
就是
sound.
本性通过声响浮现。
Yeah. So the sound of compassion
慈悲的声音
is expressed with 6 syllables.
以6个字来代表，6字大明咒，对。
And this is what is here at the top, 6 syllables, and it's what's coming out here. in the picture.
是在图案中，这6字大明咒从这边浮现出来。
Yeah. So you can't see it here, but with our X-ray vision, we want to imagine that there's a prayer wheel of this mantra of compassion turning.
我们这边看不到，可是我们想象以我们的X 光的那个的眼光，我们想象说有一个法轮在我们的胸前转，一直在转。
Yeah. And so endlessly saying the mantra of compassion for all beings.
不断的为一切众生念诵这6字真言，6字大明咒。
So Om, I don't know if we wrote it down there, you can write it on your Om Ma Ni Ped Me Hum. Yeah, Om. Do you want to write it down? Om is the white Om here, Tibetan Om. Om. You have an Om in yoga, in Sanskrit, but it looks different, right? This is the Tibetan Om. Yeah. Om Ma Ni Ped Me Hum. Can you say it? Do you want to try to say it? Om Ma Ni Ped Me Hum. Oh, good. Sounds nice in here, huh? Yeah. So I've written in the text here the purpose of the mantra.
在这段话里面，他写了这心咒的功能。
So the beings which need our compassion
那些需要我们慈悲的众生，
are the beings which are held in the grip of pride,
是被我慢之心捕捉的众生。
to them we send the sound Om.
对他们，我们发嗡的声音。
To beings held in the grip of jealousy,
被嫉妒捕捉的那些有情众生，
we send the green sound Ma.
发一个绿色的声音吗？
For beings in the caught in desire in the human realm,
那些众生执着于欲望的那些
this
众生，
Ni, it's the Ni.
这个黄色这个呢，我们发着音。
For beings in the animal realm
在畜生道的那些众生，
and the sufferings of the animal realm, we send the Pad.
我们发 pad。
For beings in the hungry ghost realm, suffering from insatiable greed,
在恶鬼界的众生，就是不能够被填满的贪，
we send the Me, the red Me.
我们发咩红色的咩。
And for beings caught in the grip of anger or hatred,
那些被嗔恨捕捉的众生，
this is very powerful a syllable Hung.
是很
This
有
dark
能量
blue
的
Hung, Hung.
轰。
These may be the beings we don't want to include in our practice usually.
通常这是我们不想要在我们生活里面要的那些众生。
So the idea is that with this only 6 syllables, very short mantra, right? Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Me, Hong. All states of suffering are touched and cleared. Touched and cleared. Yeah?
这短短的六字，包括了一切苦也触摸到一切的苦，解脱一切的苦。
So in Vajrayana practice, we use a lot of sound and visualization. We use reciting mantra and visualizing.
在金刚乘的修行中，我们运用很多声音、音响，还有 视觉上的那个观想。
So this sadhana of compassion, this practice of compassion, is done to free all these sentient beings in these states of suffering.
这慈悲心的成就法呢，是为了让一切有情众生解脱苦难。
So when we do that, of course, we are wishing the same thing that Chenrezig or Guanyin wishes.
我们做这个法的时候，我们的愿望跟观音是一样的，
Exactly the same.
一样的愿望。
Our wish is the same.
我们的愿望是一模一样的。
How does that sound?
听起来怎样？
Does that sound okay? Because you may have practiced differently, so I'm just checking how everyone is. Everyone okay?
OK 吗？
OK
有问题吗
Okay, can I?
？Sorry。
Okay, so, sorry, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I have to read this short sadhana to you in Tibetan.
我先以sorry 藏语来跟大家就诵这一段成就法。
Because we are very strict in Bhutan, you have to receive from the words of your teacher, you have to receive the text, and as I received it, then now I'm going to speak it to you. Yeah.
因为在不丹口传是被注重的，是经过口传来传法。
As I said, this text is written by His Holiness, the 70th J-Kempo of Bhutan.
这经文是第17个 J-Kempo 不丹的 J-Kempo 写的。
And it's a very short but very powerful text on the practice of compassion.
是短，可是很有能量的一个法门。
If you look at the title of it, when we translate the title of it, in English it says, "The lamp which lights the way for doing the meditation and recitation of Chenrezig, of compassion."
那我们看那个题目呢，它是那个是这样照亮就是这个观音成就法的念诵和的明灯，一个明灯来的。
So this text is none other than a light.
所以这个
Yeah, to take us to a dark place. This is like a lamp to illuminate our way.
所以这法就像一个明灯，带我们走过黑暗的地方，走入黑暗的地方。对。
Yeah? Okay. All right. So I'll just read the text for you in Tibetan. Excuse my dreadful Tibetan. Lama dang pakpa jikten wang chukla chak lo lime sange chitang gaden te kun chok sum nyu chen gai zi kwang lak tak tang tai ai jo jok sim chen nang jang chum ning por ba du chap su chi jo wei rang xing sange ni ju chang ma rik chul pe ko wa champa la zu me ning je jang chup mun pe sem ke nei za moi lam la juk pa ki ya rang lu tamal ni du zin pa yi pung po kam te dang ke che la sok pa mi tong pa ni du ju pa ni per na chin pung nam ka yel wa jin no wo tong yang rang shing gag me sel shel dang shel chu wa ji shing no De ta sel tong nang le ma yu shin nang tong la ku di ta gompa cha. Nye pe kunjel wa a pe ka dap ge teng. Si pe sa dung shi che da we den. De te wa sa bun hui ka. De le chu gel wa se che chu. Sem chen dun che su du hung la tim hung yi de ni yong su ju pa le no wo du sum gel wei ning je te nam pa pak pa jik ten wang chuk ni si shi jip pa kun le jol wei da ku dog rab ka gang ri pung po shin rang dun ju me chu ku nye pe da chak chui dang bo tukka tal mo cha gag me long ku jo dun ze pe che yun ki ni pe ka dong bo nam chul ku jok juk de ze tuk che teng ye ki og me shel ka jen wa zin na sok da dang rin chen gen gi gen ye she gang chik pe long kil na Shabni doje gilmo chung gi shuk nang la ma jub za shun sin du sel nye sum a hong le ze chu chok chui shing nye rang je ye she pa pak tu me pa chen jang rang la tim za hong bam ho ni su me pe ju lang yang tuk le chu wang yi la rik na chen drang wang ku chu gen ki lu gang rik jack lak ma chi pour kil rik dak pag me ki gen ju tu ke cha me da teng hui yik ta yik juk nak treng yesu ko wa le chu gelwa se che tam che chu ku sung tuk chin ma lu su la du la yang yi ge juk ki ze ki rik juk nyel duk tang de yi ju New mong juk ki jip pa kun chang nye chi nye jik ten deb chen gi shing nang chu sem chen tuk che chen poi ku kam sum ma lu dak pe shing du je de yi chin lab ma lu ze ki se duk nyel cheng nam la tim pa je om mane pe me hong Nang chu la nam shu nang la tim rang yang yu me chul ko shik pa shin gang nye ma o gang du duang song wa me nye luk sam ju jel we nang la shak om mane te me hong Gewa di nu du dak chen reze kwang jup chu nei jowa chik chang ma lu pa de yi sa la jupa shok. Okay. So now we're going to look at the structure of this text. So you understand the structure of a Vajrayana text, okay?
我们现在看这文的构造，它的结构，金刚乘的结构。
Okay. So on your page 1, you have the page numbers, yeah? Page numbers. I think it's the same as mine, or is it different?
It's slightly different.
Oh.
Because I used the
Seems this. Oh, it's number 2. I've just got to add 1, have I? I think I've just got to add 1. Oh. Sorry? Right, okay, I'm going to go on your text then. So we're going to start on page 2.
第2页。
So the first thing that we're going to do here is take refuge, just like we did this morning. Always start with taking refuge, yeah?
金刚撑子这个构造，每次一定会从皈依开始。首先皈依。
But you'll just notice 2 differences here, yeah? So you have the first line where we pay homage to the teacher and Chenrezik, compassion, you pay homage to those just once. So the first line, you're just going to say once. Yeah, to Lama and the noble lord of the world, Chenrezik, I pay homage. You're just going to say it once.
所以第一段我们只念诵一遍。
Then the other lines, those 4 other lines, are just like you took refuge before, but now we have 4 kinds of refuge here, not just 3. Okay?
其余的呢，我们有四种皈依，所以其余4段有四种皈依。
You have Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just like in the morning, but now you also have Chenrezik.
除了佛法僧之外，我们还有Chenrezik，就是四臂观世音菩萨。
And remember that Chenrezik is none other than your teacher.
然后要谨记着，观音就是我们的导师。
So now we have a 4-fold refuge.
所以我们现在有个4重皈依。
Clear? So the page number 3.
第3页
is, as we did before, what goes with refuge? Generating bodhicitta. We did it this morning, yeah?
就像之前皈依之后，我们做什么呢？我们发菩提心。
But now we have a more profound definition of bodhicitta here, which we'll look at.
所以我们这边的菩提心有比较深奥的定义。
I'm writing on mine. You should write the structure on yours, right? You can write on it if you have a pen. Write the structure, otherwise you'll get
如果
confused.
有笔的话，欢迎做笔记哈，就是写一下那个那些构造，才可以学习，跟着学习。
On the page 4, you're going to start what's called the generation phase. Generation.
那第4页呢是另一个阶段，就是
So Vajra.
产生的阶段。
Okay, so Vajrayana sadhanas have 2 phases: generation phase, and then you can call the second phase either completion phase or dissolution phase, either dissolving or completing, right? And every Vajrayana sadhana is going to have that structure.
所以所有金刚乘的成就法呢，都有2个部分，一就是产生，就是生产，然后之后有成就，之后呢就有成就段或者是溶解的一段，所以有产生跟溶解2重。
So the generation phase, which you begin on page 4, is going to finish on page 12.
所以这产生这段呢，会从第4页到第12页，这是第一段产生的那一段。
So you'll see on page 12, it says dissolution phase. Okay, so the generation phase ends there, and then you begin the dissolution phase. Okay. So what does this mean? So this means, like, you look at the sky, and a cloud appears, and then the cloud dissolves back into the sky. Okay, so something is going to appear, and then something's going to dissolve back into the sky. Generation, dissolving.
这是什么意思呢？就像我们望着天，这云彩聚集，然后之后云彩也消散，就聚集消散一样的道理。
At the end of the dissolution phase, that's when you rest your mind. You can call it meditation, but let's just call it resting the mind.
这个消解阶段之后呢，就是那这一段就是你安定你心的时候，你可以叫他说安定心，或者是坐禅的时候。可是那一刻是我们安定我们的心的时候。
So you'll see in the middle of page 13, there's a line in English that says, "Rest within the essential nature which is beyond thought and description." Can you see that?
所以这13页那一段在超越思想、思维和描述的本质内心中安住。
That's the last line of the disillusion phase. That's the last line.
这是那个消解段的最后一句。
And then after that, you'll be resting your mind in meditative equipoise.
之后那一段之后呢，你就会静心在一种自然就是自然坐禅的状态的一个姿态。
You right?
Yes.
Difficult terminology?
Yes.
Yeah. So meditative equipoise has the quality of equanimity that we spoke about earlier.
它这个本质就是如我们刚才所说的这个
Equipoise is this feeling of equanimity, equipoise, meditative equipoise.
这个平等心、平常心。
Yeah. So it comes back to some of the themes we've been looking at, yeah? And this is the point at which we are meditating. So here is our sadhana, right? Oh, sorry, I keep...
所以从这一段，我们就是所谓的坐禅。
So we have taken refuge.
我们皈依了。
We have generated profound bodhicitta for all beings.
我们已经发了很深奥的菩提心，为一切众生发的。
We have generated Chenrezig, the mind of compassion.
我们已经呼唤产生了Chenrezig，就是观世音。
We are going to quieten the mind using the mantra of compassion.
我们静我们的心，引用六字真言。
Then we're going to dissolve everything we have created.
我们把生产的一切
And then we're going to
溶解掉。
And then we're going to rest.
然后我们静心。
So it's a very different method from sit down and meditate. Do you see that?
所以这个法门很不一样，不仅仅是坐下打坐。
Yeah. So all of this generation phase, it's all mind training. It's all mindfulness. It's all mind training, but in a Vajrayana way.
所以这些产生跟解散，全部都是修心的一个法门，就是方法，就是金刚乘特别的方法，修心的方法。
At the end of the meditative equipoise on page 13, you see it says, we'll just have a moment or two of this resting, and then it says you re-emerge from resting.
这13段，静心之后，我们重新的复现。
And then we will dedicate the merit, the virtue.
我们会回向我们所积累的功德。
Just on page 14, just down to here on page 14, that's your dedication. And we'll finish there.
所以我们直到第14页，我们就在那边就结尾就在那边。
So I just want to say something about visualizing.
对于观想，我想澄清一些。
So at the moment, we are afflicted by clinging to things as if they are inherently existing.
我们现在的我们患着这个执着于东西是真的，就是一些事物我们把它视为真的存在的。
And of course, things do exist.
当然，东西是存在的。
We're not saying they don't exist.
我们不是说它不存在。
But we are saying that the way of seeing is mistaken.
是我们说我们怎么看是是误解的看法。
So one way to help us with that is to train in a way of seeing which is not grasping, not so clinging.
所以一个方法是修我们的见解，一个不执着于相的见解。
So when we visualize anything, we visualize it like a rainbow.
就我们观想任何东西的时候，我们观想它们有如一道彩虹。
We can view it displaying in front of us.
我们可以看着它在我们面前显示。
But we can't hold a rainbow.
可是我们抓不住，怎么抓也抓不住。
But we see it. We see it.
我们是看到的，在我们面前的。
So when we visualize, please don't strain to make something solid again.
所以我们观想的时候，请不要把东西凝固，弄成一个固体。
We are training to understand what's called appearance emptiness.
我们在修炼我们的见解，就是怎么看相和空。
So visualizing is not like a photograph, making a photograph or building a building. It's nothing solid there. It's like a rainbow.
所以观想就像
Yeah, it's not like something like we shouldn't think we're going to see something like a photograph because it's like a rainbow.
因为它不像一张照片，它是没有固体的，它是不是一个东西。
And if it's difficult for you to visualize, then stay with feeling.
如果观想很难的话，那你就试试看用你的感触，来观想。
Like my father died 30 years ago, and if you ask me to visualize him now, it takes me a while to think of exactly what he looked like, yeah?
比如说我的父亲30年前过世，如果现在叫我去观想他什么样子，有点困难。
But if I think of my father, without any picture of him, I feel some connection and some love for him.
可是我想象他没有看这照片的话，我想起他的时候，有些感触，跟以往的一些跟父亲的一些那个感觉会浮现。
So when we visualize compassion, when we visualize generosic,
当我们观想观世音的时候，
don't worry too much about seeing everything perfectly. Just feel the presence of compassion. It's the presence word again.
I know. 当我们观想观世音的时候，不用关注他究竟手上握着什么，或者那些细节，不用那些不重要。我们先观想说，我们观想观世音的那个感觉。我们说呼唤的感觉是什么？就是观世音的存在在我们面前存在的感觉是怎样
？Yeah, is that clear? Yeah, you'll see that when we do the prayer together. Okay. All right, so we'll probably just have any more questions, then we'll break for our lunch. And what I suggest you do is you take a little bit of time to read this over your lunch break and rest period. But don't worry, because I'm going to go it through with you. But while you have a little bit of a rest time, you can read this short sadhana. You can look at the mantra. You can look at this picture here. Just absorb some of that in the rest and lunch break before we then practice it later. So probably I'll speak it in English, I think, probably, and then you'll translate into Chinese when we do it. Is that the right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll just take it step by step. I'll guide you through each stage. Any other questions or confusions, or any other points you'd like me to answer, or you're keen to have lunch? Keen to have lunch, yeah. And just remember, you can drop any questions to me here at the desk if you feel more comfortable with that. Yeah? Okay. Because we already did the oral transmission, we haven't done the practice yet, but we'll dedicate this session using the Chenrezig dedication, which is, I think, on page, was it 14?
我们现在先做个回向，在第14页，请翻到第14页。
Okay. So I'll say it in English. Maybe you can join in English, and then Ray will speak it in Chinese. Through this virtue, may I quickly accomplish the great Chenrezig, without leaving any sentient beings behind. May all be established in the state of Chenrezig.
通过这种功德，愿我迅速的成就伟大的四臂观世音菩萨，不留下任何有情众生。愿一切诸有情成就与四臂观世音的境界。
Okay, thank you very much for your attention and your care. And what's the timetable? Can I look at the timetable? I forgot the timetable entirely. So I know it's 12:15. Oh, yes, good. So we'll return at 2. So have something to eat, but don't go crazy. Otherwise, you'll go to sleep. And look at this. And then we'll begin. Yeah? Good. Thank you. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.